It is shown that teenagers need at least 9 to 10 hours of sleep on average to reap the full benefits of sleep. Most teenagers I know get an average of probably 7. Without these full hours, major restorative processes are lost. Lack of sleep is also linked to stress, anxiety, depression, diabetes, heart disease, and weaker immune systems. All things to be avoided if possible. My abnormal psychology professor here at UGA discussed the benefits of sleep in preventing depression. There are strong links to sleep and mental health, which were emphasized in my abnormal psychology course here as well as in high school. My mom was also very invested in the benefit of sleep. She constantly listened to podcasts and read articles on how sleep affected the teenage brain, always sharing this information with me. Without deep sleep, our brains don't get the rest they need to perform to their best abilities, which can have serious effects on our lives. Many studies have shown the importance of sleep for mental health and depression prevention. The lack of sleep can also lead to multiple issues in one's body and brain. Not only physical issues, but mental health issues can arise from not getting enough sleep every night. A healthy sleep pattern for adolescents through college-age kids can reduce the likelihood of stress, anxiety, and depression. The lack of sleep leads to a more stressful and tired life cycle, which leads to underperformance in school and other areas of work. According to a study published in the Journal of Youth and Adolescence, when adolescents that obtain around 6.5 hours of sleep or less for a period of 1 week have lower energy than those who receive longer periods of sleep. When one has lower energy, they are likely to fall short in all activities, not only academics, but in social interactions that are essential to one's mental and social health as a human being. According to the same study, there is a negative correlation between sleep and stress, meaning as hours of sleep go down, levels of stress go up, and vice versa. Just like when a student has more absences in school, their grades tend to be lower. This correlation highlights the negative effects that the lack of sleep can have on one's mental health. When one begins this cycle of sleep and stress, they are likely to be stuck in this pattern for quite some time. This cycle of stress and insufficient sleep stunts mental growth and does not allow for adolescents to reach their full potential. College-age students have some of the highest amounts of anxiety, which in many studies can be associated with lack of sleep. As stated by a study done by researchers of New York University and Columbia University, college students have the highest levels of poor sleep, where, quote, 70% of students attain insufficient sleep, end quote. As a college student, I can attest to the fact that I definitely do not get enough sleep and prioritize other things over my sleep. However, by not prioritizing sleep, I'm assisting in my own anxiety, which I can also attest has gone up since coming to college. I was the person in high school who went to bed at 10:30 every night and recognized that sleep was important, which looking back now, I saw that I benefited from it in my academic and my social life. My sleep schedule has definitely changed since coming to college, and I receive less sleep than ever. And personally, my anxiety levels have increased, which correlates with my lack of sleep. Depression is one of the leading causes in suicide every year in America, and it also has a very strong correlation to the lack of sleep. As defined by the Patient Health Questionnaire in a study published in the Journal of the National Sleep Foundation, depression was assessed by feelings of, quote, little interest of pleasure in doing things, end quote, or, quote, feeling down, depressed, or hopeless, end quote. The relationship found in this study between depression and lack of sleep was strong and bidirectional, causing a cycle of depression because of lack of sleep and lack of sleep because of depression. Many people think that depression leads to hypersomnia or sleeping more, but actually it leads to insomnia and the lack of beneficial sleep. According to a study published in the Journal of Nervous and Mental Diseases, comparing the relationship between sleep problems and suicide attempts, adolescents who had poor sleep quality were more likely to attempt suicide than those with regular sleep. The relationship between suicide, depression, and quality of sleep is too strong to ignore. Insomnia and poor sleep have a bidirectional relationship with depression. Suicide attempts are common in those with severe depression as well. The link between these is sleep. With poor sleep, people are likely to fall into this awful cycle. One's mental health is one of the most important factors in life. The correlation between mental health and sleep is supported by many studies. Without the important processes sleep provides, mental health declines, especially leading to stress, anxiety, and most of all, depression. All of these may not be able to be completely prevented with better sleep, but the relationship is undeniable. With better sleep, the likelihood of high stress and anxiety levels decreases, as well as the likelihood one falls into a depressive cycle.